So the question I want to ask you is, how do we grow in love? Now, I'd like to throw out a few options for you. Option number one is just to focus on it and have good intentions. Option number two is kind of the magical formula, like you just pray and hope it happens. And please, God, Spirit of God, change me. We beg God, change me, make me more loving, make me a different person. Option number three is what I call the practice option. Now, let's just imagine anything you want to do in life, like play guitar, learn how to do computers, become a good hiker, learn how to swim. Now, you could take these three options and apply that to any of those things. So, if you want to learn how to swim, you're just going to go, I'm going to focus on it and have really good intention. I'm going to become a great swimmer, and you just dive in the pool and you work hard at it, and you work so hard at it you're exhausted and you never want to do it again. But a lot of times that's what we do when it comes to church. We just throw all our weight and all our energy. We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and we just try our hardest to become the different kind of person that God wants us to be. But then it just falls apart and we're like, well, I tried, God, what happened? Well, then like option number two, we become super spiritual. And this would be a little bit like saying, oh God, make me into a great swimmer. I just want to be a swimmer that swims so great. And I don't have to win any awards, but just make me good at it. Well, we know that doesn't work. But we do that in our spirituality. We do that with one another. Make us have a great group, God. We just pray and pray and pray and pray. And I'm not saying praying that's very important. But we almost act like God has this magic wand that's just going to make us be loving people to one another. And while prayer is important, I think what prayer actually prepares us for is not a magical answer. It actually prepares us for this third option of practicing. We learn how to be loving by practicing how to love. We learn how to care for one another and grow in love and put love where love is not by practicing. We practice things that shape us and mold us in different ways. If we practice, our bodies are wired in such a way that what we practice is what we will produce. So, for instance, if we practice watching tons and tons and tons of television, that will shape how we're wired, how we live, how we see the world. If we watch tons of violence, and research has come a lot about this, about kids that watch a lot of violence and how much more likely they are to be violent. So what we have to do is to develop practices that help us grow in love. So what I want you to do now is to reflect on and think about what are some things that we can do that would help us practice growing in love. Take some time to do that now.